Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 100th Roundtable for 1 million by 1 million. We are starting this day on both a celebratory note and also on a very sad note, as all of you know and feel the passing of Steve Jobs deeply as I do. There's no question that to take on something as big and as bold, as audacious as 1 million by 1 million, one of the perhaps the greatest inspiration for me has been Steve Jobs and his life and his story. It has, for most of us here in Silicon Valley, most entrepreneurs, Steve Jobs has been the entrepreneur that we've looked up to, especially in the last decade when he has had one hit after another. And also the story of the ups and downs and the defeats and the successes and the roller coaster ride that he has gone through has given us inspiration to go along in our journey, to pursue our dreams. And I'm sure all of you entrepreneurs, all of us entrepreneurs are both feeling the loss and also are drawing inspiration from the moments and the, milestone has made so much happen. He has changed so much of our world. He has backed on us all. So I'd like to start the 100th Roundtable by dedicating this session to his memory. And I would like to read from a poem that I was reading actually when I got the news feed in my email just passing, and I stopped for a moment and felt how appropriate, how intuitive that I was on this poem as this news came. So let me read that for you. It's Invictus by William Ernest Henley. There's a beautiful reading of it in the film Invictus by Morgan Freeman. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. With that, I'd like to start today's 100th Roundtable. I'd like to tell you a little bit about 1 million by 1 million, our bold, audacious initiative that many of you have embraced from around the world. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue and beyond, build $1 trillion in global GDP and 10 million jobs. So how appropriate it is that we are starting the session by celebrating a man's achievements that will inspire us forever. This is the 100th session, and it is something that we have come to kind of chance upon. It did not happen with a plan to begin with, but over the years, I grew up in India and pre-liberalization India, and I had originally, even at 16 years old, I had kind of embraced capitalism as my guiding principle in life. And then over the last 10 years, perhaps especially over the last 3-4 years, my faith in capitalism has been shaken, like many of yours. We have seen a global financial crisis, and we have seen a real crisis in capitalism. We have seen fortune amassed and concentrated at the top of the pyramid. We are seeing massive dysfunctions in this system, in this philosophy that many of us as entrepreneurs have embraced. And I think we need to restructure capitalism. So this effort, the 1 million by 1 million effort, the philosophy, the guiding philosophy behind it is an attempt to restructure capitalism into a more distributed democratic capitalism, something that is going to empower a much, much, much larger number of people to become successful as entrepreneurs, to create value and to create wealth by creating value, not by speculating, but creating value. One of the figures that have continued to bother me as I have embarked on this path of researching the dysfunctions of capitalism and how to fix it is that 600,000 companies go out of business in America every year. This is a massive infant entrepreneur mortality, something that is very disturbing. And we don't even have the statistics for what happens around the world. The numbers are much, much larger. But why can't we fix this massive infant entrepreneur mortality? Why can't we reduce this number? To do so, we need education, mentoring, incubation. And today's system, the system that we deal with around us, all the efforts, all the education, all the mentoring, all the incubation is showered upon a very small percentage of companies that are, again, at the tip of the pyramid, that are connected to some very elite networks and hubs, like Silicon Valley, like some of the top institutions like Stanford, like MIT. But if you're not part of that elite network, you don't really have access to education, to mentoring, to incubation that would enable you to become successful as an entrepreneur. And that is something, that is a goal that we have started with in 1 million by 1 million, is to democratize entrepreneurship education, incubation, and mentoring. And this needs to be scalable and distributed to be able to give the entire world's entrepreneurs access. So 1 million by 1 million is an entirely inclusive program that we offer to the entire world's entrepreneur. Wherever you are, it's entirely virtual. Wherever you are in the world, you can access it. You get exactly the same benefits as everybody else. The only solution for a massively scalable system like this, education system, is through technology. As you know, we can only do this through online education, and we have priced it at a level that it can be even affordable for young students as well as emerging market entrepreneurs. Education has become, especially higher education, has become insanely expensive. If you try to go to Harvard Business School, you're probably talking about $100,000 a year, plus foregone salaries and so forth. So this is, instead, we have tried to make 1 million by 1 million as affordable and as accessible as possible. We have a huge emphasis on bootstrapping. Most of you who are familiar with 1 million by 1 million, who have been attending our roundtables, you know, our philosophy is entirely lean, capital efficient startups. We want you to have full control of your destiny as much as possible without having to depend on investors. And one of the prevailing myths that we have embarked upon to overturn is this myth that entrepreneurship equals financing. This is a huge problem that the media has created in our world today. And this is a myth that we are going to correct through 1 million by 1 million. We are going to focus on the philosophy that entrepreneurship equals customers, revenues, and profits. Financing is optional. So over and over, as we work through, as we talk, explain what our entrepreneurs are doing in the 1 million by 1 million program, you'll hear this theme: we are focused on customers. And remember, 99% of entrepreneurs who go out to raise money get rejected. You will not understand what I'm talking about, perhaps, until you actually go out to raise money and travel the trails of fundraising. And some of you who are doing that will come to appreciate what I'm talking about in due course. But I do not believe that just because you cannot raise money, you cannot succeed, because financing has a specific set of requirements, specific models, and so forth. And then there are whims, investors' whims. So you do not have to accept rejection from entrepreneurs as a final word. That does not determine whether you succeed or fail. You determine whether you succeed or fail. The other point that we reinforce over and over again is that there are many more 5 million, 10 million, 20 million ideas than 500 million or $1 billion ideas. If you're working on a niche $20 million idea or a $5 million idea, an investor will not invest in your company. That does not mean that you cannot build a very profitable, very successful company. And we in 1 million by 1 million are going to support you in doing so, especially when you structure the company in a way that you own a significant chunk of this company. So you could think of 1 million by 1 million as a virtual entrepreneurship MBA for $1,000 a year. We offer you a great curriculum. I'll talk about all this in more detail at the end of the show. We offer you a virtual incubator. We offer you online mentoring, lots of business development help, financing help, media and analyst reach, social media access, all sorts of things. We do not offer a diploma. What we offer you is a path to dollars. We offer you a path to becoming $1 million company. There are going to be 5 billion people on the internet by 2020. This is one of the gifts of the entrepreneurs before us. People like Steve Jobs, people also like young Mark Zuckerberg and others have given us access to conceivably 5 billion people by 2020. This is a massive opportunity for value creation. It is a massive opportunity for wealth creation through entrepreneurship on a global scale. And 1 million by 1 million will be with you along the way to help you take advantage of this massive opportunity. And let us, as entrepreneurs, use this opportunity and establish capitalism 2.0. Let us overthrow the dominance of the speculators and the dysfunctions of capitalism and make it a powerful new world by empowering 1 million entrepreneurs to succeed. That's it. To begin with, we are going to move as the roster today, the agenda for the session today is that we are going to talk to a number 10 1 million by 1 million premium entrepreneurs. They will tell you about what really cool things they're doing with their businesses. We're going to hear from them. And then at the end of the show, I'm going to tell you a little more about what we are doing in 1 million by 1 million and how you can take advantage of the program. So the first presenter is Dan Stewart, Happy Grasshopper. And Dan is in Florida. Dan, over to you. If you could unmute yourself and tell us what you've got.
Very good. Can you hear me, Sramana?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, excellent. Well, congratulations on your 100th roundtable. This is fantastic. And as you know, I'm a huge fan of your program. So I'm very excited to share with everyone what we've been doing at Happy Grasshopper. So our company is really very simple to understand. We are the way to keep in touch. So customers load their contacts into our system, and then once every 3 weeks, our team of writers loads new messages into their account. They simply select the message that they want to send, click approve, and then we manage the delivery of that message via email to their audience. So as you can see on the slide there, each of these messages is designed to appear exactly like our customer wrote it themselves. So the message is delivered from their email address. All replies go directly to them. If you look in the body, that the content is nothing to do at all with that individual or with that company or even the industry that they work within. It's strictly designed to help start a conversation for them. So that's what we do here at Happy Grasshopper. Can you still see me all right?
Keep going. We'll let Bharati tackle the video and everything. We can hear you just fine, so keep going.
Okay, very good. Well, moving on to the next slide, I want to talk a little bit about some of the successes we've been able to achieve, of course, very much along with your help. The first thing that we did was identify one market and put together a great go-to-market strategy that would allow us to focus and validate whether or not our company had a future. So we introduced a minimum viable product, and we validated that product before we completed the development process. So I consider it a real success that we were able to constrain our costs by launching with essentially a wireframe of what our product would become. We're fortunate. We've achieved very strong customer validation. We've been endorsed by key players in the real estate industry, including the past president, Mike Salvaggio, of the Council of Residential Specialists. We're in use all over the country, and in fact, we've got subscribers in other parts of the world as well. And we're seeing that our product is scaling nicely. At this point, we've got about 2,000 users using our system on a daily basis. And another big win would be following your PR strategies. We've really had some success. There's been some great coverage in places like Realtor Magazine and Inman News and RE Technology and the Ticker Show. Each time we've appeared in those places, it's been a great boost for our company. So let's talk about our challenges. As every company does, we have challenges. And particularly in a startup that's trying to grow quickly, one of our primary challenges is really being certain about where we invest our time. There's so much opportunity, it's difficult sometimes to know where our attention is best invested. And your program's been helpful for that. Moving forward, we want to find ways to get more and better press coverage. We're challenged that even though we've been able to achieve it, we can't achieve it on a regular, dependable basis. And we need those big traffic spikes to grow our business. So we're working on finding an effective method of advertising, one with a really good ROI, so that we can scale properly. I'm actually starting a speaking tour. By the end of October, I'll have spoken in Dallas, Washington, D.C., and in San Diego. So we're hoping to see a nice bump from that as well. And then our largest challenge, I think, moving forward is going to be starting that fundraising process. As you mentioned, it's certainly an uphill climb, and we think we've got a good shot at being funded, so hopefully we'll be a success story there.
You know, I want to point out one thing to the audience here. When Dan started in the 1 million by 1 million program, I think you were ready to raise money right away. And I think we have taken our time to start that process and create more traction around you to give you a better chance. And also, if you go through the program, you'll see that we kind of advise you to aim for certain levels of valuation before you go out to raise money. If you go out to raise money too soon, you give up too much of the company. And all these are very sophisticated decision making, you know, along the way on where you focus, in what order do you do things. And I think we've maneuvered, Dan has maneuvered Happy Grasshopper quite well. And you know, ultimately you are the entrepreneur, you are the one who is making the decisions. We can give you this framework for decision making. And that's what we are trying to do on a continuous basis. And that's what we've done with Dan. So I think so far, at least, we have, I have watched Dan make very good progress. And really the biggest achievement that Dan has been able to pull off so far is 2,000 plus delighted customers, right, Dan?
That's a huge accomplishment, and we're very proud of that. But we also recognize it's really just a start. So we still have a long way to go.
And also, these are, I must note, these are not free customers. Free, by the way, folks, is not a business model. We like freemium, but very soon we want you to have a business model. Free is not a business model. We see a lot of businesses here oftentimes where people will come and say that, oh, we are going to acquire customers who are all going to be free customers, and then when we're going to get acquired by another company. This is not a business model, and this is not a business. And that's what with Happy Grasshopper has built a real business, is building a real business where these are paying customers, delighted paying customers. And that's what is at the basis of building a great company. Dan, would you like to add anything?
I would just like to thank you for all of your help. I can't stress enough how pleased I am with your program, and I can't stop talking about how helpful you've been for us. So keep up the great work. You're doing a valuable thing that we desperately need.
Thank you, Dan, and really thanks to you and to all the folks in the program today, or both who are presenting today, as well as many of you who are in the room, who are really our early adopters. Being entrepreneurs, you know how important it is for early adopters to, to believe in what you have to offer, and embrace the program and try it. You guys have tried 1 million by 1 million program early on in the game, and we are very appreciative of that, and we'll continue to do our best to help you. Thank you, Dan. We will move on to Girish Mathrubutam, CEO of Freshdesk, and speaking from Chennai, India. From Florida, we go to Chennai. Girish, if you could unmute your line and come and tell us what Freshdesk is doing.
Yeah, hi. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hope it's good morning for the folks in good afternoon, depending on where you are. My name is Girish and I'm the CEO and founder of Freshdesk, calling in today. And prior to founding Freshdesk last year in October, for the last 10 years, I was with Zoho. And in my last role, I was VP of Product Management at Zoho. So I'd like to quickly run you through how do I progress to the next slide, Sramana? Do I come through? Okay. So I just want to give you a quick overview about Freshdesk. So Freshdesk is a social customer support tool. But in a nutshell, that's what we offer. So what we do is combine a multi-channel customer support solution that works with email-based support or phone support, website support. We integrate that with social media. Today, the customers are going online to Twitter and Facebook for support. So we integrate that right into your customer support tool so that your help desk agents actually get the visibility to support customers, not just through email or phone, but also through social media. So that's in a nutshell about link channel, social customer support tool with traditional help desk functionality as well as matters like idea management. Users can vote on ideas and things like that. So the one thing I would like to tell about Freshdesk is the customer base that we have of our Freshdesk are actually quite similar in the sense that we have a lot of startups and a lot of entrepreneurs using our system, because today's next generation who actually love to support customers on Twitter, and so we actually see a lot of customers who are startups also. So just to give you a brief idea of where we are in terms of execution summary. So we started the company in October last year, but we launched the product in June. So our first paying customer came in June. Last month, in September, last week, I think, we actually reached 100 paying customers, and it was in approximately 100 days. So to give you an idea, the 100 customers, these are businesses. So we are talking about more than 25,000 end users, and we are probably kids per week right now. So tapping now, our customers come from more than 15 countries, so it's a good job. So, and one more I would like to mention is basically we were discussing this with Sramana, and as a token of our gratitude towards 1M1M program, I'll tell you it helped us. So we also want to kind of offer 1M1M premium free version of Freshdesk for 1 year for entrepreneurs. So I'll talk about that maybe. But maybe some bit of how 1M1M helped us, a journey in the last. It would be fair to we would not have applied and let alone winning it. So in fact, when I first met Sramana, she actually introduced us to this program and apply for this. And then I kind of didn't take it too seriously. I just left it. But Sramana, being Sramana, she vigorously followed up and sent me email reminders saying, why have you not applied? You should apply. And it's a 40,000 grant. It's not equity and debt. It's a free money, so just apply. And then we actually won the first prize. So we won the Microsoft BizSpark India Startup Challenge, which was $40,000, which bootstrapped to where we are today. To personally thank you, Sramana, for this. And in terms of PR coverage, whenever we come up with some good news, Sramana always makes sure that it's covered in her blogs and on Twitter and ReadWriteWeb. And so we have been grateful enough to have fortunate enough to have good PR coverage. And we were also kind of talking to investors, and I always keep sending, even though back mailing Sramana on what do these terms means, like terms like or let's say liquidation preferences. So Sramana always helps me with all these terms, as well as she's referred me some really, really helpful mentors. I would say, like from she also sent a lot of introductions to investors. So she's well connected, and so we actually were able to use I should say. So that's, I really think we have gained a lot in terms of focusing. For us, it was more of the analysis where we were able to tap into Sramana's knowledge of these things.
So, just to give you a little bit of context on when Girish came into the program in 1 million by 1 million, I think you joined in April-May timeframe. I was actually in Chennai doing a speaking tour, and that's where we met. And Girish presented at a live roundtable in Chennai, and that's how we got to know each other. And this was a tour that I was doing in collaboration with the Microsoft BizSpark Startup Challenge, and it was obvious to me that Girish needed to apply to this program, and then thankfully Freshdesk ended up winning that prize. But also, what you're hearing from Girish is that this is a company that came in with the philosophy of bootstrapping. I didn't have to sell bootstrapping to Girish. To a lot of our entrepreneurs, I have to sell bootstrapping. The program 1 million by 1 million has a philosophy of bootstrapping. We have to sell that philosophy. Girish came in with that philosophy. Today, we are going through, Girish is going through financing with Freshdesk. He's received term sheets. We have been negotiating these term sheets. I've been helping him with all that, both in investor introductions and term sheet negotiation. But he did not come up to me and said, oh, I don't have anything, I need to raise money. This is just not where we started. So all of you, if you look at these case studies of Dan and Girish, yeah, financing is optional. They are all looking at financing as one of the ways to grow the business. But the real focus is on customers. What did Girish tell you first? He showed you 100 customers, 100 paying customers in 100 days. That's where we need to put the emphasis. And yes, we are going to let all the premium members, wherever it's applicable, leverage the 1 million by 1 million network to bring your products to market as well. So we are working with Girish behind the scenes to see how we can offer the Freshdesk product to 1 million by 1 million customers. And 1 million by 1 million will not only be your incubation, education, business development partner, it will also be a channel for those of you who can use it as a channel. And that is something we will over time develop in a very big way. And that gives us a good segue into the next presenter. Thank you, Girish, for your presentation. And let us bring Tariq in next as to talk about Voluble, which is another company that in the last 6 months, Tariq, by the way, is right here in my backyard in San Francisco, California. So we toggle back to the West Coast of America now. And Tariq, tell us what you've got, and absolutely watch the focus on customers again, folks. Watch the focus on customers, not investors. Yes, there are investors in the picture, but watch the focus on customers. Go ahead, Tariq.
All right. Thank you, Sramana, and it's a pleasure to be here again. I want to echo Dan and Girish's, congratulations to you on a successful 1 million by 1 million roundtable. We've just been super impressed with, a lot of the insight you've shared. I think every meeting that we've had with you, we've moved 100 steps forward, or we've just had, some eye-opening insight, and a lot of your advice and feedback we've implemented into our business. And I'm one of those folks who went to a very expensive business school, and I'm still surprised that I don't have to spend that much at 1 million by 1 million to move fast. And
by the school that he's referring to is my school too, even though I didn't do a business degree.
That's right. Go Beavers, MIT. So just don't tell the MIT folks you may be doing a super better job. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Voluble and what we do. When we met you, Sramana, we had, I think, one PowerPoint slide with some mock-up ideas where I had spent the last 3 years selling software to sales and marketing executives in the enterprise, and seeing that they were struggling to continue to, one, get traffic, get new leads, nurture customers, and still participate in social media. It's just a lot of things marketers have to do, and we, sort of said, okay, why don't we try to make it easier to conduct social media conversations for enterprise lead nurturing. So to drive and to educate customers about products faster, easier in the funnel, and at the same time providing greater visibility, brand awareness in social media. So that's what we wanted to do. But it's hard. Doing that today is hard. The problem with social media is that every social media platform is its own separate platform with its own terms of service and really limitations and silos. So a company, for example, like IBM, has a big problem. They're publishing in social media. They are active in all these different channels, but in order to interact in these channels, they essentially have to reinvent their content for each one. And when customers respond or people engage, they then have to cut themselves up into little pieces to try to keep up with the conversation either on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and even now Google+. The terms of service and really the rules of these platforms limit their ability to take the content and interactions back from each of their customers and then reuse it wherever. So if you're having a conversation on Twitter and you want to put that on your blog, you really can't do that. If you have a conversation on Facebook, it's a walled garden. You can't take that conversation out and place it elsewhere, or you usually have to struggle to find ways to get your folks to interact on business pages, landing pages, where you don't control the community. So for companies like IBM, those silos and limits are a problem. And what we intend to do was solve the problem with presenting and creating an online conversation and chat platform that they can use to then drive content wherever they need. So if IBM needs to talk to folks both on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at the same time and get responses at the same time, we actually enable that so that they can continue to nurture their leads and engage prospects. So the impact, when we met you, Sramana, I think you said to us, Tariq, I don't want to talk to you until you get some really interesting folks who really have expressed interest in what you're doing. So we said, okay, we can't move forward until we get some traction. And we went into market, took our minimum product and really tested interest, find people and listen to whether or not we had something that was compelling. It was hard because we didn't know where to go, but what we found is that as more people used our product and our platform, initial platform from the left, more people started to find us. We didn't have to go out and sell it. We didn't have to go out and say, please use it. They came to us. They said, listen, we'd like to learn more. And we've just been super lucky. So really having the requirement that you said, listen, get traction with real customers has been a win for us. So I think our challenges are really threefold, right? Our big challenge is to, one, continue to develop the customer success. So one of the things we're doing is continuously asking and testing and measuring why folks are successful on our platform so that we can continue to iterate. Secondly, we really need to build a team. So we're working on finding folks who understand what we're doing and get excited about this new way of interacting or helping companies interact in social media. And that means finding a team and putting a roadmap together on our products. And then lastly, very last, is operations and financing. In the 1 million by 1 million approach, we're really focusing on building and making sure we have traction with customers who want to pay, and then using that to scale out marketing and messaging. So we still have a lot of work to do on customer development, and that work will feed finally what our sales marketing picture will continue to look like. And those are the challenges. I think, going to my last slide, my quote is, we want to move fast, and we know social media is a fast-moving, rushing river of companies and competition. It's very noisy. And I think one of the things we've been lucky with 1 million by 1 million is to really move fast, hit our milestones before talking to finance, talking about financing, and really proving out that customers are willing to pay, and verifying and validating that, with their payments and commitments. So we're super lucky that we've had you, Sramana, to really help us sprint in the last 6 months from idea to product to customers.
Thank you, Tariq. Tariq is a very nice, very interesting company that is seeing a lot of attraction from various investors right now. And actually, the only reason that is happening is because we've seen very, very good customer traction. And Tariq's customer traction is going to continue to go up because he's seeing viral customer traction. Every customer that he is doing events for is bringing in new queries and new customers and so forth. And he's been able to find this rhythm. It's a very, very interesting company. I have big hopes for Voluble in the upcoming months and years. And I'm counting on you, Tariq, to become a 1 million Hall of Fame member very soon.
Looking forward to it. That's our intent and goal.
Thank you, Tariq. Moving on to Suresh. And back to Chennai, actually, I think.
That's right.
See. There we go.
Good morning. Hi, everyone. This is Suresh here. I'm the founder and CEO of Orenscape. For some of you, or probably most of you who may not know Orenscape, Orenscape is a platform as a service company. Is somebody going to move my slides?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Orenscape is a platform as a service company focusing on building business applications. We cater to building a specific type of applications. We call them business applications. And we are the fastest way to build applications, as well as we have the unique option to deploy it on any cloud, sort of a cross-cloud platform in the platform as a service category. Today we support Google App Engine, Amazon, and Microsoft Azure as platforms where we can deploy. That's in a nutshell what Orenscape is. We really sell to large enterprises today. We are focusing on premium customers rather than volume at this point in time. And Sramana's experience in enterprise sales is really, really helping us. If you have to sort of enlist some of the challenges that we have are going through, partially we have tackled some of this thanks to Sramana. We wanted to create a mind share in the US especially. Being a platform game, we got to be recognized in the technology space, especially in the US market, that we are the top player in the platform as a service category, or we are at least one of the top players in the platform as a service category. And then we got to establish any platform that is involving programmability needs a good developer ecosystem. So that's the next challenge that we have. And then again, since we're targeting very large enterprises, when I say very large enterprises, we're talking about enterprises who have not employees but knowledge workers in 5,000 plus size, which means their employee count will be in the order of 10 to 15,000. That's the sort of customers we are going after. And hence, when we roll out such applications, to such enterprises, the applications are inherently sophisticated and complex, and we need a good consulting team to roll out those applications. So these were the challenges. Luckily, we had pretty good success. We have signed up with a lot of tier 1 partners like the TCS, Wipro, the Cognizant, HCL, 3i, Persistent, and Persistent is a special one. This is a partnership which Sramana helped us forge, and this is a partnership which is the most active partnership among all our partnerships. That I have to say, especially thanks to Sramana for that. In some sense, at this point in time, I have to say he sometimes comes in as a calls with the Persistent team and acts as our US sales head. And sometimes we wonder who's driving the calls. That sort of really solid focus. He brings in solid focus into the calls, and there is no straying away. And that's really helped us a lot. And we have also been very successful in building relationship with Gartner and Forrester. We are in the global 10 list in both these analysts, along with Microsoft, Google, Force.com, and other big players. We are one of those 10 companies across the globe. That has really helped us in reaching out to a lot of enterprise CIOs. And another thing is we are successfully established leadership position as far as India is concerned. We are yet to that mode in the US, so that's where we are.
So let me add a few things while Suresh is explaining to you, what we are doing with Persistent, just because it's actually a good. Gio is also going to talk about Persistent. Persistent is a 1 million by 1 million channel partner, and remember I said that one of our goals is to also help the 1 million by 1 million companies efficiently reach customers. And there are many, many different ways of efficiently reaching customers. And we are, trying to put partnerships together around us so that you, as our 1 million by 1 million entrepreneurs, can access your target customers efficiently. So in the case of enterprise customers, both Gio and Suresh are working on large enterprise customers. You'll hear from Gio in a minute, and this pretty much puts context around all of those partnerships. We have basically the Persistent sales force in the United States, which is somewhere in the 30 to 50 major account salespeople, account managers, who are servicing these customers and are selling Gio's product and Suresh's products. And this is actually a pilot in which just Gio and Suresh are in right now, where 1 million by 1 million has actually invested in these two companies in a revenue sharing mode. So Persistent, it's basically three-way partnerships between Persistent 1 million by 1 million and the 1 million by 1 million premium company. Orenscape and Crowd Engineering are the two that are in the program right now. We are going to scale this program further. So for those attempting to reach large enterprise customers that require a lot of integration, sorry about that. So this is a partnership that has been very exciting for many of us, for the Persistent team, for Suresh, for Gio, for us. It's been very exciting. We are talking with the 1 million by 1 million premium members products to great top level influencers. We've talked to the CIO of VMware, the CIO of Intel, about these products, and we are getting the audience of these extremely high level decision makers. And this is what having access to a major account sales force really helps in achieving. And this is not easy to do. As a small company, you typically do not have a sales channel who can get to these kinds of people. And the reason I'm so excited about this partnership and these two companies, working with us in this mode, is that we are creating the seeds of something that over the long run is going to be a tremendous asset for the 1 million by 1 million companies who are going to market for enterprise customers, large enterprise customers. So that kind of gives you the framework around, again, customer focused. Suresh has a completely bootstrapped company, and actually it's above $1 billion right now. And Gio has a company that is finance. Gio is going to tell you more about what he is doing with crowd engineering. But both of them, as far as 1 million by 1 million is concerned, is squarely focused on customers. And these are, now we're talking large enterprise customers. So thank you, Suresh, for your comments. And let's move on to Gio, which is Gio is also part of the same partnership. And let's look at what Gio is doing. And Gio, so changing continents again.
Yeah, thank you, Sramana, and hi everyone. And it's very interesting session so far. So welcome from Crowd Engineering. Crowd Engineering is an Italian company with operation in the United States and Germany and UK already. And Crowd Engineering is enterprise level crowdsourcing and social CRM. So what we do is to get the benefit of involving the customers in the process of the customer service. So customers can be not just users of the customer services, but can be partner of the company. They can become what we call the level 0 of the customer services, so the real front end toward our customers. And they are very passionate about how to serve, how to support other customers. So at the end, involving customer in the process, you get a decrease of customer service cost. At the same time, you engage more customers because they become a community. And third and last, you have an increase of the customer loyalty and satisfaction. So you can understand that this is the dream of every customer service responsible, and that's why we are targeting a large enterprise in industry like telecommunication, consumer electronic, and software, where the interaction with the end users is key to success. So the mission for Crowd Engineering has been to introduce the crowdsourced customer support as a mechanism to reduce the cost in a high volume enterprise. So this can make the difference in many large companies that they want to bring some new services, want to get social, and want to achieve a result like 20 to 30% reduction of cost of their customer service. So going to the next slide, so talking about what has been the story of Crowd Engineering so far, we have been pretty successful in the large enterprise market. We have among active customers large ISP providers, 8 million subscribers, large telco company, over 20 million subscribers, and we will launch in the next week another bigger one of over 30 million subscribers. And we had also very interesting success story in a government agency. So completely different landscape, a completely different scenario, and applying the same approach in internet. So company where users, so employee helps or support other employees. Talking about products, we have products that are targeting the large enterprise, and we just announced that the Crowd for Self that will make the service available for everybody in a software as a service, with a software as a service approach. We got significant international recognition among analysts. We got the Social Software Collaboration Cool Vendors by Gartner last year. It's very prestigious. Point. Altimeter included us in the social CRM company to watch, and the company has been founded, and we raised a Series A of $4 million in May this year. The challenge is, of course, the penetration of the new market, especially the US market that is one of the most challenging ones. So what has been our goals starting immediately after raising money was to create a list of references, so to be able to enter the US market, to introduce Crowd Engineering and make the brand well recognized in the United States. So our program now is to complete this program of enlargement in the U.S. and the European market, and that is where 1 million by 1 million was very important. Because discussing with Sramana and with the team, we had the chance to challenge, to discuss our business model, to understand the difference of the market, to be introduced to larger investors, to customers, but as well important and very influent channel partners. So, for example, the persistent, that is a very interesting experiment that we are doing. A company that allowed us to be in front of large customers and to decision maker and this large customer and master of base, and so to be able to reach the core of a large company, to be able to bring the solution, to bring our approach and see the reaction of the customer. So this is where Sramana and the team was very helpful, and this is something that avoided a lot of usual mistakes you do when you enter a new market trying to build on a strategy or build a team by your own.
You know, one of the things I would like to say, Gio, as you talk about penetrating these large enterprises, and we've seen it in case after case, the hard ROI. You know what Gio told you about, that the solution, this is very cutting edge. Crowd engineering solution is very cutting edge. At the same time, it is hard ROI. You know, what crowd engineering is able to deliver as a value proposition is very, very hard ROI. 20-30% savings in customer support has a real margin impact. And that is that is the kind of positioning that we insist on creating for you, and helping you really get to use cases where you can really convince a customer. In the case of Orenscape, we came up with the use case of Lotus Notes migration into Google, and in the process identified a gap in Google's enterprise strategy, and that allowed us to create a wedge in the enterprise through which we can go in. Now the major account salespeople can go in, can figure out where to go in. In the case of Gio, the major account salespeople can go in and sell this solution, this very innovative solution, in a very hard ROI mode. These are the tricks of penetrating large enterprise accounts, or penetrating any accounts. The ROI always helps. Hard ROI always helps in convincing customers and getting into accounts. So I think Gio is doing a very nice job of presenting a story that has that kind of hard ROI, and we are pushing forward in bringing this product to market. Thank you, Gio.
Thank you, Sramana.
All right, next, Ajit. And wow, we're so toggling back to India. We keep going back and forth. This time we are going from Europe to India. Ajit, if you could please tell us what you've got with Invention Labs. Ajit, very, very cool product. I'm very proud of Ajit for winning the Technology Review Innovator of the Year, the one of the top innovators of the world. So tell us what Invention Labs is doing, Ajit.
Hi, Sramana. It's very nice to be present here at this 100 1M by 1M roundtable. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Also, Sramana, as you may be aware, in India, this is the holiest days of the Hindu calendar. In this part of the world, it's celebrated as something called Vijayadashami, which is the traditional day on which we give thanks to various people who give us advice and teach us things. So I think on behalf of all of the 1M by 1M members, I'd like to greet you on this day.
Thank you.
Let me tell you a little bit about Invention Labs. I started this company in 2007. I consider myself an inventor. I tried to make products that would be viable in the Indian market, specifically inventing things that Indians would find useful. And the eventual niche that I settled into was making products for people with disabilities, specifically children. Now, in about 2007, 2008, when I started Invention Labs, that's when smartphones and tablets were really becoming the order of the day. And I saw a tremendous potential to use these kinds of new platforms to create disability aids, assistive technology for people with disabilities. My first product is this on the screen. It's called Avaz. Avaz is a hardware device, as we first conceived it, meant for children with speech disabilities. This is children with cerebral palsy, with autism, with mental retardation, various other kinds of disability also, which prevent people from being able to talk. Now, we estimated that there are about 50 million people in the world who have these kinds of disabilities on a permanent basis, and there's apparently about 1/3 of the world's population that would need this kind of a solution at some point in their lives. So it was quite surprising that this wasn't available in any affordable manner anywhere in the world at that time. All the products that were available were devices like what the physicist Stephen Hawking uses, with about several tens of thousands of dollars. So we came up with a tablet, and we came up with an application on it which allows children with these disabilities to communicate. Once the tablet revolution happened last year and this year, we reoriented our strategy to also focus on apps. So we're looking at Android apps and iPad apps that people will be able to download and convert their tablets into assistive technology. Now, we've done several things that make Avaz special. We've put a lot of engineering resources behind it. It's the only product really of this kind available in India, which is something we're quite proud of. But in addition to that, there are also a lot of features that we put in order to make it absolutely appropriate for specific children, because different children with disabilities have different requirements. So that's what we've been working on. We've not been fed by anyone. In fact, that hasn't really been on our radar. The way we've sustained development of this particular product has been through a services arm of our company, where we set ourselves really up as itinerant inventors. We go around looking for people who are trying to invent things in India and abroad, and we take their ideas and make a reality out of it. We've invented various medical devices, industrial equipment, stuff for the army, for the space program, all kinds of things. And that's been funding the development of assistive technology, which is really our dream in some sense. Since we started, on the next slide, we've accomplished a number of different things. This is the first device of its kind in India, Avaz. In fact, it's probably the first high-tech commercial device for the disabled in this particular country. And it's revolutionized the way in which communication is handled in case of children with special needs. It's the handling of children with special needs, therapy, services provided to them in India have so far been entirely non-technical. They have had very little of technology intervention. After we've launched our product, it's received incredible amounts of adoption here in India. There are 10 states all over the country that are using it, and now 3 other countries in which it's been deployed. Last year, we had the honor of receiving a national award from the President of India, and that's that picture up on the top there. That was in recognition of our work for empowerment of people with disabilities. And this year, in 2011, I'm proud to say that we were named one of the world's top 35 innovators by MIT Technology Review. We are rather humbled by these awards, but I think we have a very long way to go in terms of how many people need a device like this and how many people are using it right now. We have really the rest of the world to take our device to. We're looking at 2 things. We want to take our product international, and we want to extend beyond cerebral palsy and autism into other disabilities, especially learning disabilities, which are incredibly prevalent all over the world. And I think that's a specific area where, again, the smartphone tablet revolution is going to change the way people look at things entirely. I have to admit that I'm a 1 million by 1 million newbie in some sense. I joined in June 2011 and attended a couple of roundtables, but already I can see that this is one of the things that is going to help me make that transition from being an inventor to being a successful entrepreneur. Our real objective was to figure out how we can take this product to the US market. That was the agenda with which I signed up for the 1M by 1M program. But Sramana's advice has really been great all over the board. I mean, the first thing that she had told us was that, you have a product which is good in a crowded market space, so you have to distinguish yourself. You have to position yourself well in the market. So she suggested focusing on individual disabilities, for example, cerebral palsy, for example, autism, instead of having one product fit all. And that's been incredible. That's been a really that's been an eye-opener for us. In fact, I would say that piece of advice really paid back the cost of the 1M by 1M program for us. Sramana's advice has also been excellent in terms of connecting up with people in various segments. And she has, as she has mentioned for the others today, and as I'm sure she will mention again, she has strongly encouraged us to nurture services business in order to keep the money coming in and take the pressure of product development in a cash-constrained environment. She's also been helping us to grow that services business. I think the 1M by 1M program for me is a sneak preview of very wonderful things to come. I am looking forward very much to engaging much more closely with Sramana and with the entire 1M by 1M community to take my product to a global market and really make an absolutely impactful company out of Invention Labs. That's my product, that's my company, and that's my pitch. What I really like working with Sramana, what I really like about when I'm working with Sramana is that not only does she have absolutely brilliant advice that, like Tariq was saying, that you don't learn in business school, but she also presents it very well. It's absolutely pointless to have an advisor who gives you good advice that you decide not to take. But in the case of Sramana, she also follows up. She helps understand the value of her advice, and it makes it so easy to follow. I think she's the kind of advisor that every entrepreneur would like to have. And again, today, Sramana, being a special day for all of us here in India, I'd like to thank you on behalf of not just my company, but on behalf of all of us whom you're advising and whom you're helping to make to the next level.
Thank you, Ajit. I think Ajit brings up two very important points which are core to 1 million by 1 million. One is we love innovators and we love technical founders, and Ajit clearly is a brilliant technical founder. And typically, technical founders do not come with business degrees. I happen to be a technical founder. I started my first company while I was a computer science graduate student at MIT. And I did not have a business degree. I did not have business experience. So a lot of the learning about entrepreneurship I had to do on my own by fumbling my way through. So in many ways, that is a pivotal experience, a fundamental core experience of my very early years that bring us to 1 million by 1 million, which is to help the technical founders really bridge that knowledge gap between inventing something to actually building a business out of something. Again, going back to Steve Jobs, he has been brilliant at not only inventing things, but more building businesses out of things. Apple was Steve Wozniak's technical genius, but it was Steve Jobs' business acumen and product marketing genius that really made Apple happen. And you cannot build a great entrepreneurial venture without understanding product marketing. So in many ways, what we are teaching in 1 million by 1 million is that missing piece of product marketing, which technical founders, innovators typically need to become successful entrepreneurs. The second point that Ajit made, which is also very representative of 1 million by 1 million, is helping entrepreneurs around the world access the knowledge base as well as the market of America and Silicon Valley. So a lot of us, a lot of you are working in different parts of the world. We've seen a bunch of companies from India already. We've seen a company from Italy. All of these companies want to come into the US market and want to come into Silicon Valley. And 1 million by 1 million is one of the easiest, smoothest ways in which you can do that both acts as the knowledge base of Silicon Valley as well as the business network of Silicon Valley. And we make that abundantly available to you in every possible way that I can. Vikrant Mathur is next. Again, back to the west coast of America, actually right in my backyard in Menlo Park, California. Vikrant, over to you.
Sorry, can you give me 2 minutes? The phone dial got disconnected. Sorry about that.
Okay. All right. Why don't you get Vikrant up and let me know what's when you're ready. And in the meantime, I can talk about a few other things that we are doing in terms of this, the Silicon Valley connection and the U.S. market access. A lot of the best practices of Silicon Valley. We've learned a lot in Silicon Valley in the last...
Welcome to your conference, powered by Ring 2. One moment, please.
Vikrant is back. Sorry.
Vikrant is back. Okay. So just to finish that train of thought, as I was listening to CNN yesterday about covering Steve Jobs' life, he founded Apple at 21 and passed away at 56, having accomplished a tremendous amount of brilliant products and innovation. In all those years, Silicon Valley's entrepreneurial ecosystem has matured tremendously, and we've learned a lot of things. And what we have been able to do in 1 million by 1 million is package a lot of that tribal knowledge into something that any of you anywhere in the world can access today. So I will talk about more of that later on in the show. Vikrant, if you're ready, it's your turn to present iFood.tv.
Yes, thank you, Sramana. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations on the 100th Roundtable. It's great to be here, and even though I'm a relatively new member of the program, I can't speak enough about the help and advice that we've received so far. So thank you so much for all the help, and thank you for the great work. Hello, everybody. My name is Vikrant Mathur. I'm the co-founder of iFood.tv, which is the #1 destination for food and cooking-related video content online. In the most simple terms, you can think of us as YouTube for food. iFood.tv is a destination where people go to watch food and cooking-related video content. Just to give you some background, we started the site about 4 years ago out of our frustration and need for a video-based cooking site. I and my co-founder, we were trying to learn how to cook and would go to the standard text-based recipe sites which you find online and ran into a variety of issues. In many cases, we would have questions about the recipes, and all of the sites were so editorial in nature that there was nobody that we could ask our questions to. Or many times what we could never looked like the picture that they had on the site. And it was, interestingly enough, it was Food Network, the cable channel here in the US, that we found to be the most useful resource because we could actually see the steps and techniques and learn from it rather than reading a bunch of text. So we put together iFood.tv that serves the needs of 3 distinct groups that I have here on the slide. #1, the consumers who are looking for niche video content and prefer to watch rather than read. #2, video producers who are looking to distribute and monetize their content. There's hundreds, if not thousands of people online, professional producers, video production companies, professional chefs, cookbook authors, PR agencies, etc., who are producing a lot of great video content in this space. And the problem is that they don't have a place that they can go to distribute and monetize this content. And then the third group is brands. These are companies who are looking to connect with influencers, who are looking to tap into them, and increasingly incorporating social components into their product launches and campaigns. And right now, there isn't a way for them to connect with these folks. Next slide, please, Ramon. To help us solve the needs of these groups, and specifically the consumers, what we've done is we've put together the biggest library of cooking content online. So today, with close to about 40,000 videos, we're clearly the #1 player in the food video space. Secondly, for video producers, what we've done is build the largest niche audience that comprises of roughly about 3 million foodies who are visiting our site on a regular basis and consuming the content. In addition, we also have an extended distribution network across some of our partner sites through which we are distributing and monetizing this content. And then thirdly, for the brands, we've been able to put together some very interactive, non-traditional campaigns that a typical display advertising company may not be able to provide. Next slide, please. So in terms of next steps, what we really want to do is continue to serve the needs of the groups that I mentioned before, but we're at a stage where we need to scale up and build this into a multi-million-dollar company. And that's where the 1 million by 1 million program has really helped us, where we've traditionally monetized the content on the site through banner ads and advertising campaigns. And Sramana really pushed us in the direction of thinking about e-commerce and affiliate revenue, which has really been instrumental because it's opened up a whole new dimension for us in terms of things that we could do, improvements that we could make in the product, and eventually the revenue that we could generate. Along the same lines, she made introductions to us where I actually had a meeting recently with somebody that she had introduced us to, a very interesting meeting that great feedback, and I had a lot of great ideas that I came out of the meeting that I'm going to follow up on and try and execute upon. The other thing that we have to do is we have to kind of, again, increase our traffic and increase our brand presence. And there specifically, we are talking to a couple of different partners through which we could potentially get a lot of distribution and also potentially could be very interesting in terms of monetization. And again, that's an introduction that Sramana had made. I was trying to get that introduction for the last 3 months. And I reached out to very many people trying to connect with the right folks at this company. And Sramana basically wrote an email, and within a week, I was talking to somebody, a decision maker at this company. So, like I said, it's been a great program for us. The best thing is that Sramana's advice is real focused and actionable. So you can take very specific things back and try and execute on them. And I think that's what was missing. That's where people would send us all over the place. And I think that's where the 1 million by 1 million program shines, because you can actually take the advice and go execute against it. And quite frankly, I wish we had this program 4 years ago, because that's when we were starting. And I think personally we would have saved a lot of time, effort, and back and forth if we had just received some of the advice back then. So personally, to all the first-time entrepreneurs and maybe on the call, I would very highly encourage everybody to look into this program. For the cost involved, it's a no-brainer. I think everybody should try.
Thank you, Vikrant. Vikrant is a very, very interesting company. Again, hopefully a very quick entrant into the 1 million by 1 million, $1 million company Hall of Fame. So there is a ton of traffic already in the system. We are looking at different monetization options. We are looking at broadening this from a content and advertising-based company to a Web 3.0 company with a well-rounded content commerce structure. As you know, we do a lot of Web 3.0 work. I have a lot of published work on Web 3.0. It's an area that we have tremendous amount of expertise in 1 million by 1 million. So I'm really looking forward to Vikrant's company becoming a huge success. Scott, you are next. We are in Florida, United States, and Scott Clark is our next presenter. We cannot hear you. Nope, not yet.
Trying. Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Oh, okay, great. There's always some technical difficulties, but let me jump on the bandwagon and the congratulatory bandwagon this morning for the 100th roundtable. I know that's a tremendous amount of work, and express my appreciation for allowing me to present here today. And I think your team does a wonderful job coordinating all this and staying on our backs to get these presentations to you in time, and just a real appreciation to you and your team. And my name is Scott Clark, and I'm Vice President of Business Development for Value of Insight Consulting. I'm also a partner in the company. And before we get started here today, I thought I would share a quote, and I think that quote would have resonated with Steve Jobs, and I hope it resonates with the other entrepreneurs here on this in this conference today. And the quote is from a gentleman by the name of J.J. Gordon, and he was a founder of a company called Synetics. And the quote goes something like this: trust things that are alien and alienate things that are trusted. So, in other words, for entrepreneurs, it has to be about don't go with the status quo. Always be looking to make something better. Don't think inside the box. So that was my quote for the day, and I thought I would share that. Thank you. I know my time is short here, so I really want to hit on the high notes, tell you who we are, what we do, where we intend to go or where we are going, and how 1 million by 1 million, how we see them helping us get there. I draw your attention to our vision statement. Our vision statement states that we are a major force in the field of life science business intelligence. And how do we do that? By creating new and innovative new products, continuing to build upon our publishing portfolio, and providing influential consulting services to our clients. By many measures, we have attained that vision. I think the challenge here is that we are very wide in our market penetration, but we must get deeper. And I think that can be summed up in a challenge that it's a staffing and human resources issue that we need to grow beyond. Just to touch on a few of the milestones and achievements, the company was founded in 1998. It was founded by Todd Clark. He founded it while getting his MBA, attending Kellogg University. Our first publishing venture was a book called Pharma Handbook. It was published in 2002. We are now starting the 7th edition of that publication, and it is a guide to the international pharmaceutical industry in 40 countries. In other words, we touch on everything from intellectual properties to how the healthcare system works in each of these 38 countries. Secondly, we got our generic handbook, and its first publication was in 2005, and we'll start early next year on the 4th edition of that publication. As you can see here, we've done a lot of business with most of the major pharmaceutical companies, investment banks, or some we can count as clients, and venture capitalists, where we've worked on merger and acquisition valuations, inline licensing valuations. So that's somewhat of our history and our milestones. Right now, we're working on a product, a brand, Insight Investigator. And what Insight Investigator is as the tagline would state, and I think we skipped the slide a little bit too fast over there, but it's clinical trials intelligence accelerated. The first initiative of this new brand is something called the Oncology Roadmap. We've gone out and looked at collected data for 93 cancer trials across 75 indications of cancer, 46 different drugs, looking at 46 different drugs and 23 different types of cancer. We've collected over 400 unique data elements along the way on each one of these trials, and are able to take a very granular look at how these drugs were approved. So what does that really mean? It means that of the 900 plus oncology compounds currently in some phase of clinical trial, you're going to need to know what we know, and that is identifying certain thresholds along the way. If you're in a phase 2 clinical trial and you're not meeting certain thresholds, then you can make a go decision, or you can take it back to the drawing board. So we intend to expand this Insight Investigator as an online subscription model across various therapeutic categories, not only oncology and cancer, but cardiovascular, diabetes, vaccines. So you can see the list can grow from there. One of our initiatives. Okay, we're moving on here. Here we're just looking at the. Let's talk about how we see moving forward with 1 million by 1 million. I think all the other entrepreneurs that have presented here this morning have done a wonderful job in explaining some of the tangible ways that 1 million and Sramana help entrepreneurs. If I may, I'd like to share a quick story with you. And there was a day several weeks back that things were not going so well, and we all have those days. And I got an email, and it was from Sramana, and it said, "I just wanted to check on my friends at VOI and see how you were doing." And that gave me pause during the day to really sit back and think about exactly how we were doing and where we were going. And it meant a great deal in that regard to move the ball forward. So I think these, like I said, the other entrepreneurs have discussed in great length and done a very good job of explaining all this. In the end, I want to. We've had some great success working with Sramana in the 1 million by 1 million. And in closing, I'd just like to say that if you or your organization has a business interest in seeing better medicines delivered to more people in a faster time frame, then I think VOI should be on your radar screen. Thank you for your time.
I want to add to that, Scott, about VOI. This is an example of a company. VOI has very specialized expertise, very specialized, very important expertise in clinical trials for oncology and several other pharmaceutical areas. And no, 800 million people are not going to be using this product. This is not a Facebook. However, it is an important niche in which Scott and Todd Clark have real expertise, and they're building a nice niche business. And 1 million by 1 million loves to support businesses like this. These are important businesses. These are businesses that we want to see succeed. And out of the philosophy of 1 million by 1 million is that not only do we want to support the huge opportunities, we want to also support the niche entrepreneurs. Thank you, Scott. Moving on to Ashok. Ashok is in Bangalore. Ashok Jagtarakshan in company is. Ready, Ashok?
Hi, Sramana.
Hi, go ahead.
First of all, congratulations to you on the 100th Roundtable, and thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate all that you've been doing in your roundtables. I started as CEO in 2008 with the help of my uncle. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2008 because of pancreatic cancer, and we really missed him, just like we're all going to miss Steve Jobs. So after that, I didn't have any real mentor for a long time. So once I got to know of the roundtables and I guess I was one of the early members of the premium program, and I really appreciate the mentorship that you gave. On to Azuyo, so basically we started out doing web apps in 2008, and we found a number of customers, and we started building a lot of websites and web applications and integration applications. We build web apps in many different platforms: PHP, Ruby on Rails, J2EE platform, LAMP architecture. One of our initial customers, InnoSite Ventures, had a company called Guarantees.com. For almost a year and a half, we built their website and ran their website. And that was successfully acquired by Sophia Pathways earlier this year. That was one of our success stories. So we have built a number of web applications, websites, and which have been very successful. So right around 2008, when we started Zio, that was the time when Apple released iPhone, and even before they opened up the SDKs, we started building some apps for iPhone, and as soon as we opened up the SDK, we started building a whole bunch of them, and we have built a number of iPhone apps for all for our customers, and there are some very successful apps like the ABC News for iPad, MTV News for iPad, and the Colbert Report on multiple platforms: iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, and even the Palm Web OS. We built a lot of social applications as well. So all in all, we built around 100 apps on all web, social, and mobile included. Can you go to the previous slide?
Sure.
Basically, we built a lot of these apps, and some of the challenges that we faced. Actually, we reached out to you, and we had a big resource crunch, and we started getting the help of freelancers as well, as advised by you, and we find that very useful to scale our resource pool. So that was the so we totally value your advice. Go to the next slide. Here are our goals. Basically, we would like to increase awareness about our capabilities, web, mobile, and social apps. And we want to increase the overall engineer count to 50 plus engineers. We are around 30-35 engineers, so we want to grow that and increase the number of customer apps to around 250. One of the things that we want to do is to improve our margins as well. To an extent, customers look at us as a low-cost provider than high-quality provider. So the more and more apps we do, we are looking to improve our margins and provide great quality apps and products. And we also look forward to getting some help around sales and marketing efforts so that we can get predictability around our revenues. In parallel, we are, using a program to get help on building our product as well. So we are building a web plus social media plus mobile product that will help our customers improve the efficiency of their social and mobile campaigns. So in fact, there is more of input from customers to us, so a product that would help them improve the efficiency of their campaigns. So all in all, I have found the program extremely useful. And one thing that the one advice that I really value is that get input from customers before you go and build a product. That's a great. We thoroughly enjoy the program, and we would love to be part of this program to grow our business.
One of the things that we have actually been able to do to some extent with Ashok and start experimenting with the needs of that channel of communication is Ashok has worked with a number of 1 million by 1 million premium members to look at their development needs. So we want a lot of commerce, a lot of business to happen amongst the members of the 1 million by 1 million program. And this is a case where this is a company which has development expertise in a highly cutting edge area, social and mobile apps. There's a lot of demand for product development. And in many cases, some of our premium members are reaching out to Azuo and Ashok for their development needs. This is another way of using the 1 million by 1 million network as a channel for people to find business and market their services and products. This is something we are going to continue to encourage and develop more structured ways of doing that more efficiently. Thank you, Ashok. Michael, you are next.
Thank you so much, Sramana. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to Michael. And Michael is in Maine, in Portland, Maine.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Wonderful. Well, I think I'm the last in the lineup. I promised to be brief, so if all of you folks out there would stick with us for 5 more minutes, I'll get it done. In the States, we find ourselves in a national savings crisis. If you look at the Federal Reserve statistics, the typical American household saves less than $400 per year. Yet we carry a credit card balance on average 10 times that amount. So it's really no wonder that a mere 13% of U.S. workers say they'll have enough money saved to retire comfortably. And really it's that 13% stat that I find particularly interesting, because clearly we know we're not saving enough, but awareness doesn't seem to be fixing the problem. We know what to do to improve our financial fitness. We need to save more and spend less, but doing it is incredibly difficult for people. According to behavioral economists, many of the assumptions that we in fact make about how to manage money are based on an unrealistic view of human nature. I'm Michael Goldman, and I'm the founder of Wealth Gathering. My background is in business psychology, coaching, and the use of technology to help people change their behavior. And I founded Wealth Gathering to help Americans improve their personal finances by being who we really are, which is human. So if you want to go to the next slide, I'll tell you a little bit about what Wealth Gathering is. Wealth Gathering is a fresh approach to personal finance. Sorry, just a second. I'm having a little trouble, technical difficulty here. Really what we've done is we've built a program that's based on an understanding of human nature. So there's no budgets, no guilt, no tracking every penny you spend. In fact, what our members track is their savings and their progress toward achieving meaningful life goals. And then we've taken our innovative approach and we've woven it into a social app that makes managing money fun. So members earn points and badges and level up for practicing wealthy habits every day. And really at its core, Wealth Gathering is a community. It's a gathering of people interested in improving their lives and their finances. And we're harnessing the power of social influence to help people stay on track, overcome challenges, and inspire them to success. So it's kind of part social app, part online community, part financial resource. All in all, it helps you take control of your money to achieve the life you want. If you go on to the next slide, I started focusing on Wealth Gathering about a year ago, and it's been a pretty exciting year. It took us quite a bit of time just to work out the details and dynamics of the Wealth Gathering approach, because it is very different from the typical personal finance approach. And really, that approach is the true innovation of Wealth Gathering. The technology is really just a vehicle for delivering it. And then there was some regulatory issues we had to get through. We are an SEC-registered investment advisor, and web-based financial advice is still very new to regulators. But it was important for us to get there because investing is a natural outgrowth of saving, and we wanted our members to have a trustworthy, affordable source for investment advice. We also had been able to fund the initial development of the social app from revenue generated through another line of business, which is our investment management services. And I think that one of the real ahas for me when I started working with 1 million by 1 million was this concept of bootstrapping and developing early sources of business-related revenue. it's really a much more realistic model for most startups than chasing funding, which I already enjoyed some frustration in prior to that aha moment. And we're also really glad to have been recognized here recently as a Maine Top Gun entrepreneur where we're based. It's one of only 20 companies in the state to receive that recognition. And that program was also behind us getting to participate in 1 million by 1 million as a premium member. And so that's been a tremendous benefit for us. In terms of the challenges ahead, they're really about the initial go-to-market strategy. With any social app, it's really about attracting that core community that spreads the word. And social media makes viral spread possible, but it's certainly not inevitable. And a lot of us are discovering that igniting that contagion is not quite as easy as we'd like it to be. So that's the big challenge. If you go on to the next slide, really right now what I'm focused on is getting the word out to attract a group of pilot testers for the upcoming prototype launch. It's really kind of our minimum viable product. And so anyone who's interested in that, we would love you to visit us at wealthgathering.com and click on the Start Wealth Gathering button, and you'll have the opportunity to sign up for a pilot test. We're using that prototype to get feedback from the market, from consumers. I really do believe that there's a potential B2B market for business model for wealth gathering, but I also know that businesses are often hesitant to start something that's too new. So we really want to validate the concept, something we learned from 1 million by 1 million in the consumer market first. And so I'm looking in part for an advisor or partners that have experience in marketing consumer web apps. And then armed with that kind of good proof points that we get from that, we'll really be in a better position to attract some funding and accelerate our growth from there. So I really do appreciate all the help that we've gotten from 1 million by 1 million. As I've said many times, Maine is a beautiful, wonderful place to live, but it's not exactly a hub of technology startups at this point. We hope someday it will be. And so 1 million by 1 million really has helped create a community and fill the gap for entrepreneurs like me that are out in the hinterlands. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Michael. So this is actually a very good case study of an entrepreneur working, off the grid, basically, off the, of any of the core hubs where there's a lot of entrepreneurial resources, and we are able to support entrepreneurs like Michael and many others actually in the program now who are working from these somewhat far out places and still able to connect into the resources that we have been able to create for you. So that closes the formal presentations of the entrepreneurs. I'm going to tell you a little bit about 1 million by 1 million next. And this is, by the way, a Facebook poll on our Facebook page, facebook.com/1m by 1m, where you can vote for the 10 companies that you've listened to today and choose which one is your favorite. And we need some help from you. 1 million by 1 million can only be successful if we can find 1 million serious entrepreneurs who are ready to do the heavy lifting to build at least $1 million company. And this, entrepreneurship is not for sissies. It is not for everybody. And it is also not for dilettantes. It needs commitment, it needs real serious focus, and needs real work ethic to make it happen. So more than anything else, we are looking for serious entrepreneurs whom we can put the 1 million by 1 million resources behind and help them become successful, because the only way we can become successful as an initiative is if we can find 1 million entrepreneurs who are going to achieve $1 million in annual revenue. So that's the help we need from you. Help us find 10 serious entrepreneurs. Each of you help bring 10 serious entrepreneurs into the program, and that would be one of the greatest things you can do for this program and for this restructuring of capitalism endeavor that we have taken on. So the 1 million by 1 million website, by the way, is 1m1m.sramanamitra.com. You probably come in here through that. I'm going to run you through a variety of different resources at different levels. The first is our blog, which is completely free. www.sramanamitra.com is a blog which has a tremendous amount of content, which is relevant content for entrepreneurship development, and you're very welcome to use all of that for free. We also have entrepreneurship case studies with synthesized lessons and core issues in the Entrepreneur Journeys book series, and there are 4 books in that series. Entrepreneur Journeys Volume 1 has a dozen case studies. Each of the volumes actually have a dozen case studies or more, 12 to 16 case studies. Volume 2 is Bootstrapping, Weapon of Mass Reconstruction, Positioning. Volume 3 is Positioning, How to Test, Validate, and Bring Your Idea to Market. And Volume 4 is Innovation, Need of the Hour. Now, bootstrapping and positioning are 2 core principles of 1 million by 1 million. I've talked already a lot about bootstrapping, positioning. You know, what we're doing with Michael Goldman, for instance, before he launches this minimum viable product, and this is something we've done with a lot of people. Dan Stewart talked about it extensively. We do a lot of work helping you position your product in the right way so that when you do go out with your minimum viable product, the chances of you getting traction is high. So this is one body of work that is going to help you get some early guidance on how to navigate your way in this ecosystem. The books are available from Amazon and Kindle internationally, and also from Flipkart in India. The next piece of resource is the strategy roundtables that we do every week. These strategy roundtables. Now, today's strategy roundtable has a slightly different format. We gave you an overview of 10 premium entrepreneurs, 1 million by 1 million premium entrepreneurs who are using the 1 million by 1 million service. And we wanted to show you what they're doing, what kinds of businesses they are, and how they're using 1 million by 1 million. But normally, this session is a venue for up to 5 entrepreneurs to come and discuss their strategy with me. It's basically a strategy consulting session, and it's a free session. So we've done over 100 roundtables. This is our 100th roundtable on the free sessions, and we have done numerous private roundtables on top of that. We have over 7,000 people who have attended. I have personally coached over 400 entrepreneurs. We have a tremendous amount of experience guiding entrepreneurs at this point. It's been going on for 3 years. And as you can see, people have benefited tremendously from this program. Beyond that is the premium program. This is where we offer extensive methodology guidance. We have a very solid curriculum. All 10 entrepreneurs that you've heard from today and many others are using this curriculum extensively. And the curriculum is based on the coaching that we've done for 3 years. We have a very good sense of what kinds of issues you are dealing with. And we have a curriculum that will basically help you address all these early issues that you are bound to be dealing with, whether it's in lead nurturing, or it's in lead generation, or it's in negotiating valuation. We talked to Girish earlier. He's in the throes of negotiating term sheets. Well, you know, this is something that is complex. He's a first-time entrepreneur. You've never negotiated a term sheet. You have no idea what are the implications of tranche financing. Girish got a term sheet which had tranche financing in it, and I helped him negotiate that out of that term sheet. And these are the kinds of complex issues that we help you deal with, and we make sure that your back is covered, basically, and you don't make the common mistakes. And that's why the 1 million by 1 million program is working so well, is we are basically short-circuiting you through those common mistakes. Then we talked a lot about business development. You saw what kind of business development work we are doing, a lot of strategy consulting, and we help with financing. Media relations. If you look at the companies in the portfolio who have gone public with what they're doing, there's a ton of coverage that we have generated for them because of our strong presence in the media and analyst world. Now, if you come into the 1 million by 1 million premium program, one of the first things we're going to have you do is take this 1 million by 1 million self-assessment. It's a 9-point test, and every module has or every point has curriculum modules attached to them. So you can take care of this over the weekend. You can spend a weekend to really intensely evaluate yourself against this self-assessment test. Wherever you have gaps in your understanding of what we are asking for, you can go study that module and get on top of these issues very quickly. And then the rest of the curriculum is a much more elaborate curriculum, and that's where you would need to spend more time. It'll take you 50, 60, 100 hours if you go through all the electives as well to really get through this kind of crash course entrepreneurship MBA, very practical, very hands-on, through which you can bridge your gaps in early stage entrepreneurship. This is what the page looks like, what the homepage of 1 Million by 1 Million looks like. You can go on the what to expect from the premium program through this page and the FAQ to get more understanding of what we offer. As I said, the methodology is lean, capital efficient, bootstrap startups. And yes, financing is optional. We will help you with financing, but we're going to have you go through the basics first. The curriculum has 7 core modules: bootstrapping, positioning, market sizing, customer validation, financing, customer acquisition, and team building. All 7 are modules that are going to be relevant to you and necessary for you to understand as you're going through this early stage. And then we have electives that align with the trends of our industry: Web 3.0 and e-commerce, cloud computing and business solutions, outsourcing and consulting, mobile and social apps, healthcare, IT, online education. These are the trends of our industry. We help you, really understand in depth what's going on in each of those industries. The curriculum is delivered as case studies and video lectures. We have case studies of several hundred successful entrepreneurs. These are entrepreneurs who have taken the time to sit down with me and tell their stories and share their secret strategies. And the way this is helpful is because don't think that this program is taught by Sramana. It's being taught by hundreds of successful entrepreneurs because they have taken the time to tell me what they've learned. And what I have done is be able to package all this, synthesize all this in video lectures, and develop a methodology through it. So it is, yes, you hear the name Sramana everywhere because 1 Million by 1 Million has been kind of my baby, but there are so many people behind the scenes, both these successful entrepreneurs as well as the ambassadors who are working behind the scenes, the 1 Million by 1 Million team. There's a large number of people contributing to this effort. We've talked about business development, we've talked about media relations. So that's kind of an overview. By the way, several hundred incubators are following our work, and what we want to tell you is that if you're an incubator watching this show, we want to partner with you. We want to supplement your resources. Mad Incubator is one of our partners. You heard from Michael Goldman from Maine. Michael Goldman was brought into the program by one of our incubator partners in Maine. So we are basically happy to work as your supplemental partner. We're never going to be a physical incubator. So we are a virtual incubator with a certain amount of resources that we can supplement your efforts with. And we have a very clean affiliate program where we offer 10% affiliate fee to our partners. The upcoming free roundtables are October 13th, 20th, and 27th. Pretty much we'll be here all through the fall. Vision India 2020. For those of you who are interested in India, we have a module in 1 Million by 1 Million called Vision India 2020. It is based on my book, which is available on Amazon, Kindle, and Flipkart. It consists of my $45 billion business ideas leveraging India. It's written as business fiction set in 2020 and spells out a lot of the strategies I see in each of those businesses. So you're very welcome to take one of these ideas. If you're still in the mode of looking for an idea to execute on, take one of these ideas and start executing on it. We will help you in 1 Million by 1 Million in building a very large company using that mode. And now it's time to thank all our partners around the world. We have media partners, we have Microsoft BizSpark, ReadWrite Web, the Alumni Association of MIT, both the MIT Club of Northern California and AMITA, Startup America Partnership, the Indian Angel Network, various Thai chapters. Chennai has been a fabulous partner for us, which is why we see so many Chennai entrepreneurs making such good progress. Persistent Systems is one of our channel partners. We've talked about MAD Incubator, and we want to introduce you to the VView team. You are experiencing this program through VView, so I am going to invite the members of the VView team to come on camera, and so that we can introduce you to our team here. So to our members here. So Bharati, who's Bharati, can you wave?
Hi.
Bharati has been hosting these roundtables with me every week and multiple times a week, because she also does the private roundtables with us. Thank you, Bharati, for being such a fabulous partner. And
Thanks
if you could introduce the others, Bharati.
Yeah, so I have David here, our support person who helps me with all the requests, and actually he does behind the scenes work too for you. And John, our sales director. Sudha couldn't join us because he was in another meeting, so.
And Sudha and Shiva were the people who put this partnership together. Sudha is the CEO of VView. And I wish I could put on camera all the 1 million by 1 million team. It would be technically absolutely cumbersome, so we did not attempt to do that. But I want to thank Maureen, Irina, Ravi, Praveen, Melanie, Candice, Venkatesh, Ruchika, and I don't know whom I'm missing, but there's a large number, Brandon, there's a large number of people behind the scenes working on this, people, Eunice. Thank you, all of you, for making this program possible. I'm sure everybody who's listening to the show, who is participating in the program, are deeply grateful to the work that you are doing around the world. And also to everybody who in spirit have supported us. You know, the readers of my blog, you know, when I first said on January 1st, 2010, when I first wrote a New Year resolution saying that we are going to do this, we are going to build 1 million by 1 million, readers of the blog came out in droves supporting the effort, and many of them started volunteering from the program. Many of you have volunteered for the program at different points of your journey, which enables us to run this immense free program, the free roundtables, these 100 free roundtables. It's been an immense effort to make this possible. So thank you to everybody who are supporting this program. And please remember the call to action. Please bring 10 serious entrepreneurs, hopefully including yourselves, into the program so that we can make this agenda successful. So that's it from the formal presentation. Bharati, do I have your permission to take a few questions?
Sure, yeah.
So if you guys have a few minutes and would like to ask me questions, I'd be delighted to answer. I know we are at 9:49 a.m., so I definitely do not want to go beyond 10 a.m. Pacific time. So maybe a maximum of 10 minutes of Q&A. So if you have questions, please feel free to use the group chat to ask your questions. Rakesh says, Vision 2020 module seems new and interesting. It is very interesting, Rakesh. If you haven't looked into it, I strongly encourage you to look at it. Jamal says, crowdfunding is a good idea. There's a lot of crowdsourcing in general, not just crowdfunding. You heard from Gio about crowdsourced customer support. Crowdsourcing is a massive, massive trend. And crowdfunding is a part of that trend. There is some crowdfunding happening as well. And Ravi says, show your appreciation, vote for your favorite company at the Facebook page. Jamal says, what about offering this way of startup funding to 1M members? You know, crowdfunding may be something that will come later on in the process, but that is not something that is very soon in our product roadmap. You know, we have a very large product roadmap, and you have to prioritize. So crowdfunding is not part of our product roadmap immediately. It may come later, but right now we have many other things that need to come sooner in the product roadmap. But if you think that that's something that we should look into, we'll definitely put that on our agenda from a product marketing point of view. You see, we are a small startup like yourselves. You know, the beauty of all this is that we are a startup helping all these startups. So we are not a nonprofit, we are not a foundation. We cannot do this by, getting foundation money and sponsorship and charity money. We have to survive as a business. And as a result, we have to impose exactly the same kind of process and discipline to our prioritization and our work to be able to bring this to market. So we are very, very precise in terms of our own positioning, our own product marketing efforts as well. Joan asks, good morning. All the presentations seem to be from startups that are beyond the concept and early MVP stage. Is there specific advice for those of us who are in the early startup stage? I'm a new member of Premium program and eagerly await your mentorship. Yes, Joan, we have obviously not put the people who are, in today's session, we haven't put some of the earlier stage entrepreneurs. We wanted to show you some people who have spent some time in 1 million by 1 million and have made some progress already. But yes, we definitely have lots of members who are in the very early stages of concept development and concept validation. So you should do, the first thing you should do is go through the curriculum. If you have a concept that you're trying to validate and trying to test, then do the self-assessment test as soon as possible and study the modules related to that and start validating. We have a very, very clean validation module with very precise instructions on what you need to go about to do that validation exercise. I want you to go through that and get some maturity in your understanding of your own concept, and then come start dialoguing with me in the roundtables. Michelle says, bootstrapping is great. However, what if you're not technical and your team is demanding funding? Does 1 million by 1 million work with startups that have raised their seed? Oh yes, of course we have startups who raise their seed, but no seed funding is possible unless you do some amount of bootstrapping and some amount of validation. I'm not asking you to bootstrap because it's a luxury. I'm asking you to bootstrap because it's a necessity. No one is going to fund you. You just do not have an option of getting funded. Your team can demand funding all they want. You just will not get funding until you do the groundwork. So if you are trying to figure out what comes first, the chicken or the egg, I strongly recommend you do the self-assessment module immediately so that you get a clear understanding of what comes first and how, in what order it comes together. Anybody else? All right, well, looks like we don't have any other questions at the moment, and I really do not want to keep you much longer. It's already been a long session. Please feel free to ask whatever questions through our website. We have a very prompt support mechanism behind the scenes, and you can access us through that. And we look forward to seeing you at the upcoming roundtables. And thank you very much to all of you for spending your time with us this morning to help us celebrate the 100th Roundtable. And we look forward to being there for you, working side by side with you, building your ventures. Thanks again. Bye-bye.